What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Wnba Dfs here to bring you another WNBA slate breakdown for the 5-game WNBA slate. Yes, 5 games. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content that we're putting out over here on the channel. We're almost out of the dog days of just having MLB and WNBA for the summer. More sports will be coming, and I cannot wait to break those down for you over here. If you guys are looking for any of my plays, my picks, my player pools, or anything like that, not only my stuff, but everyone else over here at the No Days Off family, check the link down in the description below for the Patreon. Only $10. Promise you you're going to make that back within your first week. Without further ado, getting into this big slate. Going over to the injury report. Starting straight out over here for the Seattle Storm, we already got word that Horston, she's going to be out for personal reasons today. With that being said, her being out, we might see more minutes for Melbourne. We know that she was kind of buried on the bench, but Melbourne, she might actually get some more runs. Jonah Holmes, she's been sporadic in her minutes after starting and having really big production for a little bit and then faded to the background. So those two players off the bench, they might go ahead and absorb some of those Horston minutes, or we might just see Sammy. Sammy might absorb those minutes herself as well. But some minutes to go around on the bench for the Storm. Not necessarily starters, because I don't think the starting lineup is going to change, but for the bench, since Horston, she was playing about 24 to 25 minutes, so those minutes have to go somewhere to someone else. Over here in New York Liberty, same old, nothing new, same starters as always. The Aces, we just got word that Candace Parker, she just had surgery on her foot today, so same old for the starting lineup. Kia Stokes, she's going to be starting for quite some time. Pretty much the same team that we were watching last year for the Aces is exactly what we're getting right now. Over here for the Sky, same thing for them. No news to report. Same people that have been out: Rebecca Gardner, Isabel Harris. Both of them still out. Same starters as always. Over here for the Phoenix Mercury, Diane Taurasi, she's going to be out again today. So nothing new to worry about over here for them. Same starters that they've been rolling out, unless they decide they want to take Wnba out of the starting lineup. But I don't see that happening here in this spot, unless they feel like she's not going to be able to match up too well going up against Ryan Howard or Nia Coffey in this situation. And then over here for the ATL Dream, they got everyone back. Ari McDonald, she's back. She's playing minutes. She's good to go. I think the only thing to worry about on the Dream side is possibly if they change around the starting lineup. Right now, they got Monique Billings sitting right here. Monique Billings has not started the past 2 games. They finally went back to Cheyenne Parker. Cheyenne Parker reclaimed her starting position at the center spot. And then wouldn't be surprised if Dan Robinson goes back to the bench, and maybe they might start Ari McDonald here in this matchup, because it's a really juicy matchup. Phoenix Mercury, they bleed points, so poisoning guards, and Ari, this is probably better spot than not to get her really going, especially from a scoring standpoint. Over here to the Connecticut Sun, you already know Brianna Jones, she's going to be out, but no other news for them. Same old for them, except for they did waive one of their players today. It was Anigwe. Anigwe was released from her 7-day contract, so the Suns do not have her anymore. Granted, she wasn't really playing minutes anyway. And then over here for the Dallas Wings, same old, nothing new for their starting lineup. For the IND Fever, they are still going to be without Nelissa Smith. Only thing to report for them. And then over here for the Sparks, last time I checked, Carly Samuelson, she was doubtful to play today, but I will get confirmation on that one right there. With her being out, of course, Lexi Brown, we've seen that she's back. The sickness is gone. She's good to go. She's out there. She's sniping. She's shooting like she always has been. And then Clouden and Cheney, they're both going to still be out. So same old for these Sparks. Going over the DraftKings, the site that has been making us money for the season, the site that is just beautiful. I love the pricing. Typically I like the pricing normally whenever they have their stuff together. But the player pool, the prize pool, everything that they have over here, they got a 60K July fadeaway special. We don't normally get these 20K up top contests like that over here, but we got a big slate today. So if you guys are not on DraftKings, check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus, and join me over here on DraftKings so you guys can get a chance to win some of this money over here too. As of right now, filming this, let's see, do a refresher. The contest, we had 3,357 people out of 4,705. So if there's still time when this is uploaded, definitely jump into this contest so you guys do not miss your chance to win some really good money on today's slate. Jumping straight into it, starting at the Phoenix Mercury, taking on the ATL Dream. This right here, we already know Phoenix Mercury, they're pretty bad. Honestly, I personally believe they should just go ahead and start tanking it out so that way they can get a pretty good draft lottery pick, which is probably going to happen this season. This is a good spot for Brittany Griner, but of course, as we've seen over the last couple games, Brittany Griner just hasn't been Brittany Griner it up. Without Diana Taurasi being out there, she's got what? I think it's been 1, 2, 3 games that DT has missed now over the last several. Let's see. Diana Taurasi, last game DT played was going up against Connecticut Sun, so 2 games. So in the last 2 games that she has missed out, she had a 33.25 fantasy point game in 27 minutes, and And then 29 minutes going up against Washington, Michigan, she only gave us 25.75 fantasy points. This spot right here sitting at 10-6, she definitely can go out there and get the better of the matchup between her, Cheyenne Parker, her, and Billings. She can, but it's going to be, can we get that from Brittany Griner? The issue, and it still probably remain the issue, wouldn't be surprised, is that she's getting doubled. She's getting doubled a lot. That's the whole issue and problem. The Washington Mystics, they did it. This guy, they did it to a T out there to her. So that's why I really feel like the assist numbers have been going up for Brittany Griner, because she's having to pass out of that double team quite a bit, get out to her shooters and things like that. But if you want to take a chance on Brittany Griner, I do not hate the spot for her. Definitely is a pretty good spot for her to go out here. We have seen opposing centers go out here and have some pretty decent games, as long as they themselves stay out of foul trouble. So definitely a spot I don't mind paying the 10-6 for Brittany Griner. We got to pick and choose where we play it for our studs. Sophie Cunningham finally has got back on the scoring train, has looked pretty good in her past 2 games without Diana Taurasi out there. 29, 31 minutes. She's dropped 20 and 30.5 fantasy points, primarily due to the fact that she got that scoring bug back. She got it going. Of course, right here, she got the assists going, but let's see. Out of her last 3 games, she scored 17 points in 2 of them. They're going to need her offensive firepower. We do know that the ATL Dream, they do play at a pretty fast pace. Definitely should play to Cunningham's strength with running up and down the court. Definitely just spotting up, just taking some catch and shoot threes. On top of that, we do know that Atlanta can be turnover prone. She definitely can be able to snag some steals as well inside this game. Mariah Jefferson, a spot for her, 7-8. I don't hate it. Not really someone that I'm looking at or on my radar right out the gate. But opposing guards, they've had mid-level games going up against the Atlanta Dream. It's not something that I feel like you have to. I really feel like this is going to pay more to the strengths of Cunningham, especially considering the fact that for some reason, which I don't know why, but the Atlanta Dream, they like to go under screens. So if BG's out there setting a pretty good screen out there on the perimeter, Cunningham might be able to get loose, raise some threes. We literally just seen Heidemann do the exact same thing. I want to say she went 5 for 6 or something like that from the three-point lane going up against the Atlanta Dream. So definitely will be a spot we can go ahead and see Cunningham do the exact same thing. I don't think that's going to really pay too much into my girl Mariah Jefferson's strength, because she's not really the best three-point shooter on this team. That definitely left for Cunningham, who's going to be out there spotting up taking threes. Same thing for Petty. We know Petty. She can definitely come out here and get hot. We just seen what she did not too long ago, going 5 of 8 from 3, dropping 31 fantasy points in 21 minutes. So we do know she is still on that minute limit, only going to be playing about 20-ish minutes a game. So definitely in considerations. And then if you feel like Sutton can come in here and she can get hot, only thing is, of course, she's playing off the bench, sitting at 6'4". We already know she, with Diana Taurasi being out, she is going to play. She's going to be capped around that 20, 25-ish minute range out there. I don't know what she has to do to get hot enough to be able to stay out there and play maybe more minutes. If she does, that would be cutting more into maybe some of the Petty minutes, maybe of some Mariah Jefferson minutes, if that was to be the case. Between her and Shea Petty, I would say she's going to be the safer option between her and Petty, because as we've seen, Petty solely relies on scoring. Shug, she's going out there, she's able to get some rebounds, get some assists, and as you've seen, she's bringing it on the defensive side. Her turnovers, that is definitely a problem. Last time I played her, she was turnover queen when she went out there, but if I had to choose between the two, I would go with Sutton over Petty. Petty would be more of the GPP option. Wnba, I know everyone is probably tired of trying to play Wnba over the past 2 games. She has legit dudded. Well, we can go back and say the last 3 games. She has dudded. She's been in the starting lineup for the past 2 games. Minutes have been there-ish for her to at least go out there and give us something like what she is used to doing, the sort. This right here, I feel like, is a bounce-back spot, bounce-back game. Definitely, if she's playing the 3 out there in the line, she will be able to match up very well going up against Ryan. She should have the size advantage and everything going up against her. Definitely could be a spot that we could see her get back on track. We did just see Rebecca Allen go out here. She drained some threes. She also got a good chunk of block shots, some steals and stuff like that. Wnba can go out here and do the same thing. She could definitely give fits to Ryan with her length that she has, even though I still believe Ryan is in a really great spot to go out here and have a good game herself. But still, Wnba can definitely give some problems on that defensive side for her out here in this game. Definitely is a bounce back spot, a huge GPP option. We see that her price has dropped drastically to 6'3". I definitely do feel like you still should have Wnba inside of your player pools, because she's just a 1 game away from popping off. Brianna Turner, if you want to go there, we know that if BG's not getting the rebounds, Turner, she can go out there, she can do her thing, get the rebounds, get the steals, get the blocks, get the rebounds, stuff like that. So 6'7", that's one of the players that I will say not damned if you do, not damned if you don't. She won't hurt your line. She won't get you a 0. She's at least gonna. I'll give her a floor of 12 if you want to go there. And then last but not least, Megan. For some reason, we've seen her minutes slowly creeping up, and she's been producing at a fantasy point per minute pace. If BG goes ahead and gets herself into foul trouble, maybe Megan can come in here and continue what she has done. I will have to put her in my player pool just because she's been the perfect lineup. I want to say the last 2 times that she's been on the slate, simply because she is performing out there in the minutes that she's getting, and she looks great. She actually looks great. I'm not gonna deny it. 12 points in back-to-back games, very good stats. I do like that. Megan, value play over here from the Phoenix Mercury. Going over to the Atlanta Dream side. Sorry guys if I'm talking fast. It is a big slate. Hopefully you guys can keep up. Definitely, you can slow me down in the settings section down there. We already know where the usage always starts for the Atlanta Dream. Ryan, Chelsea Gray, Cheyenne Parker. Now, if they change up the starting lineup and they bring Ari into the starting lineup, I won't hate that. I would love that, actually, if Ari was to start. That is, to me, huge value, especially going up a team that is very weak defending opposing guards. Ari, we do know she likes to get her three-point shot up. She is very fast, very twitchy. She can get to the rim at will. If they're going to start her at 5-1, and I know that she's going to play 30 minutes out there, get the 30 minutes. She's already played 16 in her first game back, 27 in the second game. If she's going to go out there and play 30 minutes, I know she is not the best fantasy point per minute scorer, but at 5-1, if you're telling me she can go out there and get me 20 to 25 fantasy points, I would love that for her in a ceiling game of possibly 30. Granted, she hasn't done it this season. She hasn't given us that 30 plus fantasy point, but at 5-1. She hasn't been priced this cheap since she was 5'9", back going up against the Dallas back in May. So if you're going to tell me that her price is going to come down, I would love that for her, especially if she's starting. That is huge value right there for Ari on the slate. Outside of that, both Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard are in prime spots to be able to pop off and go off. Gray, of course, is always going to be the one I'm going to suggest as the more consistent player because she is more consistent. She got into foul trouble and she fouled out in this last game, only played 34 minutes. That's because she picked up 2 stupid fouls in the third quarter. And just, literally just, Now, she goes out here. This is a legit perfect bounce back spot. If Prize Picks puts back up her 3-point attempt prop, I know my boy BK, he was on this. It was sitting at 2.5. If they put that back up, definitely take the over for her to go over 2.5 3-point attempts on today's slate. This is literally a spot that she can smash going out there. Looking at it over here on Line Star, where we will go, Atlanta Dream. As we have seen, Phoenix, they're giving up some pretty good numbers to opposing ones and twos out here. In her history, when she was playing on the Dallas Wings, 39 fantasy points, 24 and 26 fantasy points in 30-plus minutes. We know she's going to play all the minutes in the world. The usage is just there for her. I do like Alicia Gray. And then, of course, Ryan, she has dropped, 40-plus? Well, she dropped 45.5 fantasy points in a game where she struggled in the first half going up against the Sun. Legit struggled. Only had 2 points going into the half. Came back out, dropped 22 points. The steals and blocks were there. I don't expect that to pop off again here, but we do know she at least is going to get us about 30-ish to 35 fantasy points if she's not able to get these steals and blocks. Definitely knows how to rebound, get the assists, but scoring is going to be the name of her game, and that is exactly what she will come out here and do. Really great matchup, once again, going up against the Phoenix Mercury, who are bottom of the league in defense. Cheyenne Parker, I know that this probably is going to be a spot that we're not going to want to take an opposing center going up against Brittany Griner, but opposing centers, they don't do too bad going up against Brittany Griner. Especially centers that are actually pretty quick, nimble, and can stretch the floor. Those are things that Cheyenne Parker can go out here and do. At 8'7", she is a GPP play, not someone that is high up on my radar that I feel like you have to play on today's slate, but definitely in consideration if I'm going to take anything. And then, last but not least, of course, with Cheyenne Parker back into the starting lineup, Nia Coffey, she fell right back down to earth, only dropping 11.75 fantasy points in that last game. This is the perfect bounce back spot of, hey, let me go back to the GPP option of Nia Coffey. She's sitting at 8.2. I will admit that that is a bit pricey for me, especially if she's going to be drawing Brianna Turner defense. I might not want to even touch this cup of coffee on today's slate, but nonetheless, if you're even thinking about it or considering it, Coffey is there. I will not be playing Coffey, so that means she will drop 30-plus fantasy points for you on today's slate. That is a joke. Do not take that seriously, but if it does happen, pretty much I'm just bad luck when it comes to playing Nia Coffey. Everyone else, Dan Robinson, Monique Billings, Hillman, I don't see any of these bench options going off except for Durr. This is one of those matches where she could possibly come out here, get hot, let her 3-ball fall, possibly. But with McDonald being back, the minutes for the guards have really just completely evaporated. Like, you're not even seeing Haley Jones playing minutes. You're as you've seen, her minutes have gone down. Hillman, her minutes are just no one's really playing too many minutes out after this All-Star break. The minutes kind of evaporated really for the bench unit, especially with Ari McDonald being back. Even Danielle Robinson, her minutes are evaporating as well. So really kind of going to only focus on the starters, but GPP options, Asia Durr would be probably the best one from that bench unit on that team. Going over to Seattle Storm, taking on the New York Liberty. We've already seen this twice. I'm pretty sure it was twice. Might have been 3 times already this season. But nonetheless, we already know how it's going to go. The Storm, they are 15-point favorites. No surprise there, considering who they are playing. Not the Storm, sorry, New York Liberty. They are 15-point favorites. No surprise with who they're playing. Going up against the Seattle Storm. In all honesty, the Storm, the safest play is going to be Jewell Loyd. Looking at what she's done going up against them, 31, 41, and 25 fantasy points in that game in New York. I kind of would question whether or not if she's going to actually be able to go out here and do anything, considering that the game that she did play on New York's court, she only dropped 25 fantasy points, but we do know that we normally attack opposing guards going up against the New York Liberty, and this is one of those spots where, of course, if Loyd gets hot, Loyd gets hot. She shot 2 of 11 in the last game going up against the Sky. Going up against the Sky, so not her best scoring performance since the All-Star break, but we do know she can get hot. She can get hot at any point in time, and without Horston, who has been bringing that offensive punch off the bench for them, dropping, 11, 12, you're kind of going to miss these points and that production, like I said, the minutes and stuff for Horston not being there. They're going to have to get it from somewhere else. So Loyd, definitely in consideration, sitting at 9.8. We haven't seen that price from her in a while. GPP option, considering that you have Arike, Sabrina Ionescu, Ryan Howard, all of them are priced up. Dewana Bonner, all of them are priced up above Jewell Loyd at 9.8. Definitely making her a very good GPP option on a slate as big as what today is. Easy McBagor, her minutes have just been very sporadic, up and down over the last couple games, but her production has just been nonetheless. Finally, she's found that scoring punch again. Now she just needs to bring everything back together for us out here at 9K. Not a bad spot or price, I'll say, for her. She dropped 44, 29, and 37 fantasy points. So mixing pot of what she can go out there and give us at 9K. Definitely on the lower end spectrum for what you want to pay for her. Don't hate it if you land there, but not a prime option I have to go to. We've finally seen the minutes for Gabby Williams. They've slowly been going up, so she's in that 25. I'll give her 25 to 30ish minute range for what she's going to go out there and play. As long as she's actually able to go out there and do something, anything. We do know she is a Swiss Army knife when it comes to it. Sitting at 7.5, I don't hate if you land there. Definitely know that New York, they can be turnover prone. It could be one of those games where Gabby gets the steals going. Now, Sammy Whitcomb, we have seen that if Sammy plays good, minutes go up, and with players being out, Sammy typically is the one that's going to get the run. At 5'9", wouldn't be surprised if Sammy gets those Horston minutes, or if Sammy goes ahead and she starts. The second half of the last game going up against the Sky, they started Sammy in place of Ivana. Ivana was pulled to the bench. Ivana only played, I want to say, 8 minutes in that last game, which was she only played 8 minutes. She got ganked. She got pulled. Her minutes have been up and down. She really has not been producing over her last couple games, so wouldn't be surprised if they change up the starting lineup again. Maybe Sammy goes ahead and she gets to start. If she does, pretty good spot at 5'9". We already know if Sammy gets hot, she gets going. Wouldn't be surprised if she can get into a shootout. The last game going up against the New York Liberty, she dropped 33 fantasy points, 19 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. Definitely in her repertoire to go out here and do it again in this spot, especially at 5'9". Really great value. Fan Cam, this is the spot where she legit broke out and just had that really great game. 37 minutes and 38 fantasy points going up against the New York Liberty. Ever since then, she has been very up and down, has not had the same minute production or anything outside of there. So I am currently going to be off of Fan Cam. I cannot touch that. Same thing for Nurse. I'm going to be off of Nurse. If anything, I will be looking at Melbourne just because she looks like her minutes might be back again. Maybe Melbourne has gotten back into the good graces of the coaching staff and everything. Definitely will consider her. Not a must play, definitely a GPP play, but she is one of those low-owned players and low-price players that will let you get every single stud that you want to play on today's slate and possibly could help take it down on today's slate. Especially if you're going to tell me she can go out here and get 20-plus minutes, I have to consider Melbourne. I really would. Especially if we're seeing that Ivana, her minutes have been yanked and tagged. And if they go ahead and they change up the starting lineup, if they put Sammy to start, and you already know Ivana's going to be on the bench, Horston has to get those Horston minutes have to go somewhere. They might go to Jade. Jade might be able to go out there and get those minutes. And if Jade can get her shot to fall, we already know that she can do a little bit of something on the playmaking side and everything. As long as she keeps herself from getting in foul trouble, she possibly can go out here and pop off and have a good game. And if the game gets out of hand and it's a blowout, she might be able to get some more runs. So Jay Melbourne at 3,800, I do actually like that. And then Jordan Holmes, we do know she can fill in that small forward, power forward position. Again, Horston was the backup small forward anyway. We could see Jordan Holmes maybe get some minutes again, but to me, I think she'd be more of the very, very GPP-ish option to come in there and get those minutes in this spot. So it's a toss-up. I think out of the bench squad, I would feel safer with Melbourne over Joyner, just for the fact of Melbourne, the minutes have been more consistent in regards to what she's getting. I know she was a DNP for one game, didn't play in that, but Joyner, it's just I don't know. No, I don't trust it. All right, going over to the New York Liberty side, we already know starting lineup. Pretty much everyone is in play between Stewie, Sabrina, Jonquil Jones, Courtney Vandersloot, Laney. All of them are in play. They all play typically good minutes. As long as the game doesn't blow out, then okay, we know where the production is going to come from. It's going to come from Brianna Stewart, then Sabrina Ionescu, Courtney Vandersloot. If she has a pop-off game, we know she has to go ahead and score to do a little something to go out there. Her game's going up against Seattle. They haven't been bad, but in all honesty, it's a range of what we've gotten. She's dropped 20-ish fantasy points in 2 games and 50-something in 1 game. So not too sure if you want to go here to Courtney Vandersloot, but if you do not want to pay up for Sabrina Ionescu, I definitely understand that. Sabrina, been more consistent. She's dropped 31, 39, and where's it at? And 34 fantasy points. So if you feel like Sabrina is going to be the one that you want to pay up for, sitting at 11-2, consider it. But if you're going to pay that much for Sabrina Ionescu, I would rather just go ahead and play Brianna Stewart up here at 11-5. This would be a slate in a game that I would say just play Brianna Stewart if you're going to go and play for Sabrina Ionescu sitting at 11-2. Like, that's crazy. It's wild to me how much they priced her up on the slate. Going up against Seattle, she's dropped 43, 51, and in that first game, she dropped 49 fantasy points. So, in all honesty, she hasn't dropped that 60, 70-plus fantasy point game going up against them. This could be the spot where she goes out there and does it. She hasn't really done too much since they've come out of the All-Star break. 25, 24, and 11 points, 39, 41, 23 fantasy points. This is a spot where she's due for that 50 burger, and I do not hate it for her to go out here and drop us that 50 burger on today's slate. Jonquil Jones will definitely be the GPP option. If you don't want to play Brianna Stewart, you can always come down to Jones. We do know Jones, she's gotten hot over these last 2 games. She's definitely showing, hey, I'm back. I am back. And the minutes, this is the thing, and this is the disclaimer. Every single time I get onto Jonquil Jones, the minutes are there. The minute she's finally going, she's ramped back up. She's getting the shot attempts. The 3 ball is falling. She's rebounding like crazy. All this, that, and third. She goes out there and she lays a stinker on me every single time. Every single time without fail. But you know what? She's going to break that curse today. Today will be the day that Jonquil Jones can go out there and she can have a hell of a game and just destroy the slate. And her 3 matchups going up against the Seattle Storm, she's only played 18, 23, and 25 minutes, dropping 20, 20, and 18 fantasy points. Not really scoring too hot, grabbing a couple of rebounds. She's getting her steals. She's getting her blocks. The blocks is the one thing that's been very consistent for her out there. So if she can keep the momentum that she's had going over these past couple games, I definitely do feel like this is a spot where we could see her give us a double-double. She's coming off a back-to-back double-doubles. She can go out here and give us another double-double and just destroy the slate again at 10K while everyone's trying to play up for Brianna Stewart. But the safer of the two for me is going to be Brianna Stewart. She is definitely the GPP option if you want to get different. Courtney Vandersloot already talked about that. Laney, she popped off. She had one of her ceiling games last game, 32 fantasy points on 22 points. Outside of that, she really doesn't do that too often. The New York Liberty set a record with 44 points in the first quarter. I know, NBA standards, that's like, whoa, that's nothing. But for WNBA, 44 points in the first quarter. A lot of that was also behind the fact that Laney, she got hot. She was hot. She can go out here and repeat that, but at 7-1, not really someone I'm looking at. Feel like the game's going to blow out. Johannes is going to be your girl you want to play, or Sabally. Both of them will get more run over everyone else. Thornton, she's kind of just an afterthought over here on this team. Prince, another one that's just an afterthought. And Willoughby, another afterthought for them over here. Going over to the Sky, taking on the Las Vegas Aces. Same old spiel that I give every single time when I cover the Aces. Right now, due to the injuries and everything that the Aces have, we already know the starters, even though they're blown out teams, even though, they can crush them, so on and so forth, the starters still have to play at least about 33 minutes a game. They have no choice but to play. And at the max, they will play at least maybe about 35-ish minutes. We've seen that for the last couple of games for Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, and Jackie Young. The only one whose minutes will stay roughly around that 20-minute mark is going to be Kia Stokes and Alicia Clark. Both of them, they're going to stay roughly around that area right there. Now, last game going up against the Minnesota Lynx, that game, it was somewhat close, somewhat not, but she played 35 minutes, dropped 62 fantasy points. Going up against the Storm, they legit practically curb stomped them, but still played 35 minutes in that game, dropping 54 fantasy points. So needless to say, even if the game is out of hand or anything like that, we still probably will at least see 30 minutes from the starters from the Aces. So all of them, they're in really great spots, especially the main four starters that we have out there, Jackie, Gray, Plum, and Wilson. Of course, Wilson is probably going to be the one that we're going to want to go to the most because of the usage and everything that she has. Definitely will be the difference between her and if you want to play Brianna Stewart. You can differentiate between those two right there, maybe get a little different and play Wilson in some lines, play Stewie in another. Or if you want to get crazy and find the immense value somehow to be able to run both Wilson and Stewart in a line and pray and hope that they both drop 60-plus fantasy point games, you definitely go ahead and do that. Now, they've already played the Sky once this season. Looking at it, Asia Wilson, 28 minutes, she dropped 38 fantasy points. So imagine if she goes ahead and she plays her 35-plus minutes. That right there was a double-double performance from her, which she's, I want to say, back-to-back-to-back double-doubles that she's actually posted. And all those games, she's at least scored over 20 points in her games. Yep, over 20 in, 4 straight games now. So wouldn't be surprised if that continues. Definitely would be a prop that I would look at, would be playing Asia Wilson's points and rebounds if it is anywhere around like maybe say 32, 33 or whatnot, because just right now she's on a scoring tier and rebounding at such a high clip. But last time playing, going up against them, she dropped 38 fantasy points, so we know she can go out there and do that again. Chelsea Gray in 28 minutes only gave us 31 fantasy points. Spot at 10-3, kind of would rather just pay for some of the cheaper guards though, if I'm being honest. And then Kelsey Plum in 28 minutes, 25 minutes, and then Jackie Young, she had a stinker, 28 minutes, dropped 21 fantasy points. So, but if at all anybody, I would definitely look to Asia Wilson. Just the usage and everything that she's had over these past couple games would be who I would be looking at and whatnot. The blowout queens, not really looking at them. Bell, George, Colson, none of them. I just the starters for the Aces. That's what we want. Going over here to the Chicago Sky. Landon Smith had a really good game last time out. 31 minutes, she dropped 45.75 fantasy points due to the fact she pulled down 17 rebounds, 3 blocks, 4 steals. Crazy. That's great. That's amazing. She's in the same exact spot that we have Brianna Stewart in today. So maybe we can see a Brianna Stewart, a huge ceiling performance like that. Or maybe we can go ahead and we can see Jonquil Jones do the exact same thing, especially on the blocks and steal upside. But that was also due to the fact that Elizabeth Williams, she was in foul trouble in that game. So I do not expect an exact repeat performance of that from Elena Smith going out here, especially considering the matchup going up against the Aces. They are still a pretty decent defensive team when they want to be out here going up against opposing teams. And for some reason, I can't find the Chicago Sky. Finally found them. All right. But looking at the matchup, really nobody stuck out to me when I was reviewing it, going over it. Landon Smith last time, 29 minutes, she dropped 23 fantasy points going up against them. Kalia Copper, she only 32 minutes, she gave us 28 fantasy points. Marbury, she dropped 31 fantasy points, so maybe Marbury would be the bright spot that we would see right here. But we do know opposing centers, they've had decent games going up against the Sky. Going up against the Aces over the last couple games, 26 minutes. Elizabeth Williams has dropped 14 fantasy points in the last spot. I'd say out of everybody, I would rather probably look at Dana Evans because we do know if Dana gets hot and she gets going out there, she definitely could have a pretty good game. And her minutes, they've been sitting around those 20-ish minutes range. And plus her price has finally come down from being up in that 7K range and 6K range. We were waiting for it to drop back down to the 5K range. If they're looking for offense, want that offensive boost, Dana could definitely come out there and give it to us, especially sitting at that 5-7 price range. And if I had to take anyone else from this team, Copper would probably be the one that I would look at and consider, just because we know she's going to want to try to keep this game afloat, keep it going, and keep it close. The production that she brings, but mainly for her, all that is on the scoring side. She's not doing too much everywhere else. Definitely a GPP play. Not really going to force any of the Sky players into my lines today, just because I don't see any value in any of them on today's slate. Going over to the Sun, taking on the Dallas Wings. We already know what's going on with this team. Pretty much this is another team that's racked by injuries and everything, and their rotations and their lines, it's very small. It's very condensed in regards to who we're going to look at over here for what they're going to bring on a night in, night out basis. We already know AT at the top of the list. She's going to go out there and she's going to play as many minutes as she can, as long as she's not in foul trouble. But the matchup going up against Tierra McCowan, Kalani Brown, she's going to go up against some pretty big bigs. So this is a spot where maybe we look again at the Dallas Wings for their bigs in this position. They do have a very big lineup going out here, and I want to say they match up very well going up against the Sun in my eyes. But with the usage and everything that Alyssa Thomas has that she brings to the table, we know she's going to rebound, she's going to play make, she's going to try to get in there to the rim and score as much as she can. In 37 minutes, she dropped 37 fantasy points the last time that she played going up against the Dallas Wings on June the 4th. Of course, that was with Brianna Jones playing in that game. Brianna Jones did play in that game. That was, I want to say, the last game that Brianna Jones actually played in before she got injured. Now, since then, we do know her rebounds have gone up. Her scoring is still kind of mid-level, still the same, and she's playmaking and everything. I will have to put her into my player pool just because of the usage that she commands on a night in, night out basis, but I don't feel like this is going to be the best matchup for Alyssa Thomas going up against Tierra McCowan and Kalani Brown. It's kind of going to be in the same boat like what she was in when she went up against Brittany Griner when they played the PHX Mercury. She played 40 minutes and she only dropped 31 fantasy points. This is literally pretty much the exact same kind of matchup that she's going to be in today going up against Tierra McCowan. Wnba Bonner, we do know that the Dallas Wings, we do lack on the defensive side of the ball. We definitely can let opposing sharpshooters and things like that get going and get hot. If DB comes out here and she's raining buckets, raining down her threes, getting her shot to fall, really hasn't gotten it going over the last couple games, but she is still producing at a double-digit scoring clip, and she's doing a lot of rebounding, playmaking. The usage is there for her. She's the next level after we're looking at Alyssa Thomas. At 10-4, gets you off of some of the other Enriquez, the Jewel Lloyd, the Ryan Howard, Sabrina Ionescu, Chelsea Gray. So definitely Wnba Bonner is a spot that we can look at. Tiffany Hayes and Heidemann, both of them, flip a coin on which one you want to go to. Tiffany Hayes has not had that big game over the past 3 games out here, so this could be a spot we could hop back on the train. Maybe she pops off and is the GPP winner for us. But Heidemann over her past 2 games has finally gotten it back going. I definitely will have to consider Heidemann, but she's not someone that I have to play just because she is very much GPP consideration, because at any point in time she could definitely just fall off and go out there and give us nothing, give us a 12 fantasy point game. But the game environment that this one is in today, the pace of play that Dallas Wing play with, the pushing the pace and everything that they bring, definitely a spot where you could possibly see Heidemann go out here and have a decent game. I wouldn't write her off, but definitely GPP option right there. Rebecca Allen, I think this is going to be a spot she might struggle with, especially with the size and length of the Dallas Wings with their front court of Satu, Howard, and Tierra McCowan. But her block upside might be there just because she will more likely be on Satu Sabally. So blocks could definitely be there. Steals could be there. It might be one of those games where she gets it going from that aspect and point. I won't write her off completely. The last time that they played, she really didn't have to play too many minutes just because, again, that was when Brianna Jones was still playing. But in 11 minutes, she gave us 7 fantasy points. So something to think about and go to right there. Last time that Heidemann, she played 35 minutes. She only gave us 6 fantasy points. That's what I'm saying. It's just a mixing pot in regards to what the Connecticut Sun are going to bring. And the only 2 I really feel safe with and going with is going to be Alyssa Thomas and Wnba Bonner. If you want to take another GPP, that's going to be Carrington. We know that normally her minutes were trending up, but now they've just been kind of up and down over the last 3 games that she's played. I know she came back from injury, but nonetheless, at 6'1", gets you off of maybe a Sammy Whitcomb or something like that if you want to get a piece from this side and you're not trying to go with Alyssa Thomas or Wnba Bonner. Going over here to the Dallas Wings, their side, to me, the whole starting lineup is in play. Tierra McCowan, I already touched on it, but I do feel like this is a spot where she can go out here and have a really good game going up against the Sun just because she's going to have the size. She should have a double-double in this game. I don't see why she would not be able to get it. We just seen what Cheyenne Parker went out there on the offensive glass and just getting to the foul line. She was able to get fouled quite a bit. Definitely feel like Tierra McCowan's size and what she's able to bring to the table, if they're going to let her at least get 30 minutes in this game, definitely a spot she can go out here and she can smash. At least give us 30, 35 fantasy points. I wouldn't be surprised if she was actually able to break 40 fantasy points in this game if they let some offense run through her and let her take advantage of what she brings on the inside. We know AT, she likes to get to the rim anyway, so the block upside for Tierra McCowan in this matchup is there. is going to be there today. But if you're not want to go with Tiara Satu Sabali, she has probably the better matchup out of everybody. I know she's been up and down since Tiara has been back, but since the All-Star break, she's dropped 36 and 50 fantasy points. The scoring is back. Rebounding, of course, we know she's going to rebound with the best of them. I do feel like the rebounds today are going to go into McCowan's favor, just because, again, she legit is bigger than everybody on the floor in today's game going up against them. Against the Sparks, she actually had to match it with NECA, Stevens, and things like that, so she didn't have that luxury of being able to snag those rebounds in that game. And of course, with that being said, now you're seeing Satu, who's matched up going up against a Claritin or going up against a Lexi Brown and stuff like that. She had the advantage in that game. I really feel like this is a game that we're going to see Tiara McCowan be able to just smash. This is really just probably a McCowan game. Arike, we already know if she gets the shot falling and going, Arike's going to Arike. They ain't a shot that she don't like. Sitting at 10-9. If you're not want to play for Sabrina and everyone else, definitely GP option. Always will be low owned just because she relies so much on the scoring. And then Natasha Howard, if you're not trying to play McCowan, if you're not trying to play Satu, Howard is going to be your next step that you're going to want to look at and play, because she has been very consistent with the scoring, the rebounding, the defensive side is honestly a big reason why Dallas has been able to look so great as how we have over the past couple games. Going over to the last game on the slate, we got the Fever taking on the Los Angeles Sparks. Last game, if you guys have not done so already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys are not missing out on any of the content that we're dropping over here on the channel. And definitely check out the Patreon in the link down below. And if you guys want to play over here on DraftKings, check the deposit match bonus so you guys can go ahead and double up your money. Come over here and join me on DraftKings. We have not seen an Aaliyah Boston huge game in quite some time. We really haven't. She's been very mid-level over the past couple games. The offense really has not been running through her. For the fact of going up against New York Liberty, in 22 minutes, she only took 3 shots. Going up against the Washington Mystics in 28 minutes. The first half of that game, they looked to Aaliyah Boston. They got her some post touches. But now, granted, the Mystic, they were kind of doubling her. I would have think her assist would have went up a little bit more in that game. But they didn't. She shot 3 of 8. And they didn't go to her at all, pretty much in the second half of that game. It was ridiculous how they were running right there. Going up against the Sparks, she is going to be contending going up against NECA. This will also be the first time that the Fever will be playing going up against the Sparks, so we don't have no data to go against here in the spot. I think it's going to be a tough matchup for Aaliyah Boston, trying to go up against a vet. Possibly could see herself getting into foul trouble. This will probably be a spot where I will fade Aaliyah Boston, and I will not be playing her on today's slate. With Melissa Smith still being out, we know that Vivian, she is going to still start. Lexi Hull, they got her back, and she popped off in that last game, dropping 37.25 fantasy points on the back of 16 points, 4 steals, a block, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds. Do I think she could repeat that here again? They're going to give her at least 25 to 30 minutes. I don't see why not going back to Victoria Vivians. I think she's more consistent and safer than Kelsey Mitchell and Erica Wheeler out here, considering that they are there whenever you decide to actually play them. They really don't produce. Wheeler's floor is practically, 20-ish fantasy points, and then Kelsey Mitchell, as long as she can actually get her three-point ball to fall, she will deliver, but outside of that, she's not winning nobody any GPPs or anything of the sort. Definitely 2 GPP options. I'd rather go with Vivian as long as she's still starting. We know that since Melissa Smith is still out and McCannon, she is going to have to still go ahead and get some minutes. At 6'6", she is a bit expensive for what she is actually getting and bringing to the table. I would rather play a Lexi Hull or a Grace Berger if I'm going to go with anyone else over here for the Fever. Going over here to the Sparks, long as Lexi Brown is starting and Clarendon is starting, I do like both of them here on today's slate just because the Fever is the Fever. They run at a pretty fast pace, or try to. Their defense is not there at all, and this is definitely a spot where we can actually see Clarendon get going and pop off and have a huge, massive game. This is definitely one of those spots where she's getting the minutes. She saw 30 minutes in that last game, coming back from an injury, and she only has 6 points. So the shot just was not falling. Primarily got it from the free throw line. This is one of those games where she's already given us some rebounds. She's given us some assists. She can definitely get some steals and stuff like that going in this game. Might be a game where she can go ahead and drop a 16-plus point game and give us a 30-plus fantasy points sitting at 6'8". I do like this spot for her here. Same thing for Lexi Brown. We already know the shot is going to fall. She's going to take those threes. She's going to rain them. She's going to go out there and do what she does. 7-7, I, of course, would rather pay down for Clarendon just because she is going to be starting as well and is at least seeing 30-plus minutes as well. But Lexi Brown, nonetheless, if you want to get that 3-point bonus, I don't mind going to her. Azura Stevens looks like her minutes are back up and down on the rye. Not really the best spot for her anyway. They will more than likely run Wnba out here with more minutes. 29 minutes in the last game. Wnba dropped 23.5 fantasy points. But it is still a condensed rotation with the fact that Cheney is still out for the Sparks. And then Carly Samuelson, like I said, she's doubtful for today's game, so we do know it is going to be a tight rotation for them anyway. NECA, top of the list. We already know everything starts and ends with her. If we just seen what Tina Hawkins was able to go out there and do going up against the Fever, I definitely feel like NECA, who has not had one of her huge ceiling games in quite some time, this is a spot we can actually go ahead and get that from NECA out here on today's slate. With that being said, guys, that's going to be my breakdown for today's slate. Hopefully, it helps you guys win some money. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Talk to me down in the comment section if you guys have any questions or anything like that. Be on the lookout on the Patreon for me to drop my player pool and my cores that will be coming out soon. With that being said, it's your boy Zoe. I hope you guys cash. See you in the green. See you guys for tomorrow's breakdown.